were to make landfall, it's worse than we first knew.
It is a miserable situation here.
And so everything is wiped out. Those feared dead begins at 10,000 people.
It was the first time I went to LPPCHEA and even really know that there was such a place. And I was amazed to see that there's still this last frontier of a buffer zone of mangroves that still protect Manila, or that coastline, that area, the community in that area. And that there is such a place that still can host migratory birds from around the country. At least 80? Wow, that's amazing. But from a project development management perspective, for me, what I felt was that there has to be a clear purpose on what the declaration of these two islands as a critical habitat and ecotourism should be in the next 5 to 10 years. Seeing that there were construction of some structures from a certain politician, it felt like a que sera kind of feel, a chop suey of things, set up a structure here, set up a bamboo garden, set up a vermicomposting site, set up a multi-purpose hall, set up there's a planned structure that should be up in about 2 or 3 years. And where is this all going to lead to? Like, for what purpose? What is the master plan? What is the big picture of setting up all these small components? And what will it contribute to the protection, conservation, development of LPPCHEA? Another question that pops into my head is, aside from the mere declaration of the area as a critical habitat to be protected, what is the big picture of it being an ecotourism site, ecotourism area? Is it wanting to get students to have a feel and a heart for to go and protect environment when they go there? Or these small activities have to be organized. These small activities, these cleanups, have to have a build up towards a certain big picture. There has to be that kind of drive. And if that big picture goal and purpose is clear, what then are the activities and objectives that need to be undertaken to achieve it? Like, just like how we talk about it in the logical framework matrix, you got to set a clear sense of purpose. You have a goal. You have these activities. You have an output. And how do you verify these? These has to be clear. I'm not sure what document supports the Proclamation 1412 that gives all these details, but reading the proclamation, it's just a resolution really saying that this area is protected and is a critical habitat to be protected with certain premises, the whereas and the technical description. But the development of it in the next how many years, it's unclear. It's funny because, ironically, seats of power like the Senate and Congress is just nearby. It could probably be a stone's throw away. And, if only enough political will could be mustered to get things going and really have that boost of this is what needs to be done, there's a lot that could be done. The issues that faces LPPCHEA, like what garbage, it's easy. These are simple things in the project perspective, project development management perspective. You could create campaigns, IEC campaigns that talk about how the communities can protect the river, can help create a lifestyle that will protect the rivers that lead out to that place. When I went to Australia last year, it was very interesting to hear that the indigenous people, the Aboriginal people who live hundreds of kilometers away from the shoreline of the Great Barrier Reef, when we visited their farm, they were very keen on telling us that they deliberately protect the water system and care for the water system in their ranch. The way they dispose of water, the way they use water in their ranch which is hundreds of kilometers away from the Great Barrier Reef. They said that we deliberately protect it because we understand that it affects the Great Barrier Reef. That kind of mindset, I swear, is not present in the Philippines. And that's something that we need to develop in the communities, especially in the Manila area. Especially the areas which they have some downstream effect into the LPPCHEA area. Companies in Manila, could be tapped, especially those with CSR initiatives. Their activities for cleanup or even the purchase of nets that could help keep the garbage away from the coming into the mangrove areas. These could be tax deductible. It's just a matter of creating policies that would set all these up, and that could easily be done, if there's just enough political will. I was happy to hear that some students and some concerned citizens took the effort and the initiative to really come up with that signature campaign to protect the area from any reclamation developments, and that's good. And there are other areas for development. It doesn't necessarily have to be LPPCHEA, and it's still just a matter of political will. And should development be tackled or talked about in that area, it has to be environmentally sound, green, and climate friendly as much as possible. The fisher folk and livelihoods, it's not right to displace communities that have grown accustomed to the waters as their source of livelihood, to take them out and force them somehow to say that you're gonna make charcoal as a living now. It's like taking a fish out of the water and say you're gonna have to live on land, which is very much the case of a fisherman being taken out from their livelihood of fishing in the morning, coming in the noontime to back to the land, and just resting. And the lifestyle it's a huge change. It's like telling them to go live in a forest. At the end of the day, for me, what I learned is that there are still lots of projects in the country that exist but lack a clear sense of purpose, especially government projects, unfortunately. In this case, after reading even the presidential proclamation, I've just felt like it's just really a bunch of resolutions with the technical description, but I don't know what documents would support and say this is what needs to be done. I mean, it lacks foresight into how it should be developed down the road. Conservation and preservation are not the only things that matter, really. And so sustainable development and how to further make the place environmentally developed to the point that people will actually think twice of taking LPPCHEA out of the map. That has to be the kind of drive that the people who are leading or taking care of LPPCHEA should have. That has to be they have to have that kind of heart. So it's just for me it's more than just being a project. I heard a quote that said that people are not projects to be accomplished, and LPPCHEA is a community of people, and for it shouldn't just be a project. It should be something where, beyond the project, there's that heart really to develop the people in there and also the area.